you see. That's because I smoke. This is a piece called The Lads, and it's based on my urban series, which hopefully will go on for some time. I can't see it finishing in the foreseeable future. But this kind of work originates from when I used to live on my narrowboat. I used to see ducks and geese wandering down the towpaths when I used to boat into towns like Birmingham, where until you get into the city centre there's lots of industrial buildings and the old brick walls and the sort of industrial waste ground, and the towpath walls are pretty much covered in graffiti. Now, as a realist painter, the challenge for me was to try and recreate a bricks and mortar graffitied brick wall as convincingly as possible using the traditional methods of paint with a brush applied to a canvas. The animals in the foreground is pretty genuine, because what I actually saw, like I say, what inspired me to do this was seeing from my boat the towpaths and actually seeing the ducks walking down the towpath, and I thought the juxtaposition of that was really quite amusing, visually very interesting. And of course I'm a realist, so the challenge of recreating the brick wall, and I'm an animal painter, and at the time I was reasonably well known for painting my quirky animal portraits, mostly cows, but since then I seem to have moved over to ducks, so that could be the influence of the waterways and the water life. But they were actually Canada geese and mallards that I first saw, but then it doesn't mean to say that I can't introduce other creatures. And with these white runner ducks who have featured in my paintings before, it seemed a good idea to introduce these characters to one of my urban scenes. So this is called The Lads, and I've actually got names for them. I called them Wayne, Dwayne, Shane and Pete, because I couldn't think of anything else to rhyme with Wayne, Dwayne and Shane. But the Pete is called Pete Brain, I've decided. He's got a surname, Pete Brain. It's spelt B-R-A-N-E, and that's that came to me because I've just, for some reason, I let myself go and almost become a graffiti artist and just do some scribble. And B-R-A-N-E was, you can barely read it, but that's typical of graffiti anyway. You often can't quite read and make out what it says. So they're the lads, and having a bit of a night out in search of chicks, maybe. Talk about these pieces because this represents actually some of my latest work, and I've done some smaller pieces. These actually were painted a few months ago, but the cockerel there and Dirty Harry here, the duck, are very, very recent indeed, as are the little rabbits here. Now these are Thug's bunnies, and that's Bruiser, and that's Bouncer. And you know, Bouncer's not letting anybody in, doesn't matter who you say you are. But yeah, so Bruiser and Bouncer actually are actually canvas limited editions. They represent the original very closely because they're about the same size. And I've done these smaller pieces. I've got like a storyline going on of all the guys, the lads, the ducks, you know, streetwise Charlie and Bill and Bill's mother and son of Bill. The whole family tree is growing all the while, and I wanted to introduce some new characters. Rabbits. There's a cat, Towny Tom. He's around somewhere. So I'm introducing new characters, and also business-wise. you know, they want to be represented as smaller limited editions. So that also probably fills a place in the market. You know, so I'm having some fun experimenting with these. I mean, there's no reason why you couldn't paint a tiny little cutesy bunny like that in a huge urban scene and have a huge painting and just still have the little rabbit in focus. But for now, and I work like this sometimes, for now it's a smaller painting, it makes it somewhat simpler to do. Maybe I can do the same kind of thing next on a larger scale with more background going on, and so you're moving on in a way that's manageable. Now, this character here, this is actually one of my favourite pieces. I don't know what I'm going to call him yet. This is how new these are. In fact, this is one of my very latest pieces. This one and the copper are the two latest pieces I've done. But he's a Muscovy duck. I'm very fond of Muscovy ducks, so he might become Morris or something, or the Morris the Muscovy or something like that. I don't know. Musgrove the Muscovy. I'm still wondering what to call him as yet. But anyway, there he is. I don't know. Now the two lambs here are a little older, and I painted these because of the title. I had these titles. Shepherd's Delight was a title I had. I thought, well, that'd make a nice painting of a lamb with a sunset. But I felt, and I do this quite a lot with smaller paintings, I felt it needed to be one of a pair. Often with smaller pieces, I'll do a pair with a large piece or a very large piece, just one painting. But so you've got Shepherd's Delight and Hope. So there you go. That's a show of my latest work. Is that all right?
Oh, that was amazing. That was awesome.
Amazing.